ongea mambo ya wananchi, mambo ya kugawana mamlaka, wananchi wanaamua siku ya kura. Hapa katikati ni kupanga ajira ya vijana na kupanga vile Kenya itaenda mbele. Ama namna gani? Mnataka tufanye twende tufanye mambo ya handshake tena na hao watu?
Niamua kama vile imekuwa desturi yangu, kila kukiwa na maandamano mimi sifungangi, mimi nakujaga kufungua, nafanya kazi. Wakati mambo itatokea niko na wakati wa kufunga. Lakini as far as nimeamuka na ni siku ya kazi, lazima nikuje nifanye kazi. Ndio nahimiza Wakenya wote, amuka uende kazini. Enda ufanye kazi kwa sababu ni zamu yako, hata kama maisha, gharama ya maisha iko juu, ni zamu yako ufanye kazi na ujitume wewe mwenyewe. Na ndio maana naambia Wakenya, dumisha amani kwanza, alafu fanya kazi. Na pia wape, sisi tumechagua wabunge, tumechagua magavana, tumechagua rais, wao wape nafasi waende waongee kwa sababu bunge iko na haki ya kuongea.
Nimefungua biashara yetu, iko na bills nataka kulipa na nategemewa kwa nyumba, niko na mambo mengi nataka kufanya, nataka kulipa rent, nataka kulipa school fees. Sasa kufuga kazi ndio tunaona inatuharibia biashara.
Keeping tabs with matters protest, a section of UDA party leaders in Mombasa found themselves in a confrontation with the police after attempting to hold a press briefing on maandamano happenings. The briefing failed after police lobbed tear gas towards them. Even so, the leaders found a way to get their message across, and it was one of the condemnation for the protest and a call for peace. This even as Mombasa remained peaceful at the CBD, with various areas around the county witnessing failed attempts to stage processions. Paul Monio has more.
Okay, sisi tulikuwa tunafanya amani, tunataka kuonesha kuwa Mombasa UDA, tunataka amani, we are looking for peace, hatutaki maandamano. Kwa hivyo sisi watu wa UDA tunasema tunaunda serikali na hatutaki kelele. Tunataka kila Mkenya apewe haki yake, na kama Azimio iko na shida, iko na bipartisan na iko na bunge. Kwa hivyo wapeleke hiyo maneno huko. We don't want violence in Mombasa. Siku 3 watoto hawataenda shule, siku 3 hakuna na hiyo maneno. Sisi hatutakubali.
Kenya Catholic bishops have called on for resumption of bipartisan talks so as to cool down the political temperatures witnessed in different parts of the country. Speaking in Nairobi today, the bishops have urged the Azimio la Umoja principal Raila Odinga to suspend the ongoing demonstrations and embrace dialogue with President William Ruto so as to protect lives of Kenyans. The bishops led by the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops chairperson, Archbishop Martin Kivuva and Nyeri Archbishop Anthony Muheria, have called on police to stop using excess force against protesters and allow them to practice their constitutional right.
Appeal to non-violence at all costs, and let's return to dialogue. We make this statement in the backdrop of announced weekly 3-day demonstrations. We have made our efforts to appeal to both the President and the Leader of Opposition to this peaceful way to end the seeming standoff. Specifically, we have appealed to Azimio la Umoja to seek alternative strategy that would not hold the entire country hostage and lend itself to violence and destruction.
Brutality. We, the Catholic bishops, strongly condemn the police brutality inflicted upon innocent Kenyans during the demonstrations. We understand there are criminals who disguise themselves among protesters to vandalize property, steal from people, injure and even kill people in their evil schemes. These are the ones the police should go for to ensure peaceful demonstrations are conducted according to the law. We want to emphasize and express a firm stance against such acts of violence and abuse of power. Police have an obligation to deal with criminals disguised as demonstrators. Police cannot take advantage to brutalize innocent Kenyans. Such acts are unacceptable, must not be tolerated under any circumstances.
Now let us shift gears to matters agriculture. The main theme at the Agricultural Suppliers Conference held in Nairobi was on improving agriculture through training of small-scale farmers and suppliers on the control of pest and emerging diseases in agriculture. Osho Industries, which is engaged in production and distribution of agricultural products, brought together a gathering of industry leaders, stakeholders, and various distributors. Speaking during the distributors conference, Manoj Shah, founder of Osho Chemicals, said the conference aims to recognize and appreciate the suppliers for their great contribution, with the aim of continuing to train them and small-scale farmers across the country about emerging pests and diseases that necessitate the use of chemicals in Kenya as an agricultural country.
This is why this conference is very critical, to build a huge capacity for our distributors who are successful, because as they become more successful, there'll be more challenges coming their way. So the conference is really about their sustainability. The conference is more about their structured growth, because even their next generation is joining businesses. Our generation is seeing the exit, but the next generation needs a guidance and support, and that's why this conference, the theme, is definitely that. So everybody as a sector will grow in that space. If we keep the farmer in our mind and focused, we will need sub-stockists, stockists, distributors, and safe and usable products to reach them.
And I've actually been working with Osho Chemicals for the last maybe 25 years. And we have actually walked the journey together in terms of getting the farmers, in terms of education, empowering the farmers. And we are still together even at this particular moment. And let me say that the journey has not been very easy, because initially farmers are actually subsistence farmers. And those farmers never embraced the aspect of using of chemicals and any product that could improve their yield, because their focus was actually on food. But as we developed, the farmers now started taking business as agriculture as a business, and they continued embracing products that can help in terms of improvement of their yield.
So ilikuwa mkulima zamani huyu mdogo hangeweza kufikia ama kupata hizo madawa, lakini sasa sababu ameweza kupata manufaa ya kutumia madawa, anapata mazao mengi.
Moving on, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, has promised his government's commitment to ensuring media freedom. Speaking during the revamp of TV47, Mr. Owalo has assured the media that his office will protect press freedom. Furthermore, he has congratulated Cape Media for their effort of making the renovation colorful.
We have also licensed approximately 150 radio stations and 70 TV stations, in addition to numerous dailies and online platforms that provide information to people across our beloved country, Kenya. Furthermore, we have enacted several laws to protect media freedom as enshrined in Chapter 34 of our Constitution. Let me extend my profound congratulations to the entire team at Cape Media's TV47, who have worked tirelessly to bring this innovation to life, thereby placing this media house squarely on the national map as the house to watch from now moving forward.
8 minutes past the top of the hour, time for a short commercial break, but we'll be right back with more news. Thank you for keeping it TV47. Welcome back. Now to more news. A few days after President Ruto carried out the issuance of title deeds at Embakasi Ranching Farm, a devastated mother in Rwai is now pleading with the government to help her secure a piece of land back which she claims is being taken away. Francisca Walinge, who is a widow, says that her husband bought the land some years back, and before his demise, they had gone through all the processes required by Embakasi Ranching Company to fully own it. She adds that she has all the documents showing she is the rightful owner. Walinge now wants President Ruto to intervene since someone is already building on the piece of land.
Serikali naomba president nisaidiwe juu hiyo plot yangu ni kama inakaa kupotea na niko nayo na niko na ndoto kama hiyo. Nalilia haki yangu kama mama mjane, nalilia haki yangu. Nipate haki yangu. Serikali nisaidie nipate haki yangu. Mimi ni mjane, niko na watoto. Mzee aliaga na akaniacha na watoto wako shule. Na wakati huo nilikuwa nataka hiyo plot yangu nipeane ndio nilipie watoto school fees. Hadi waleo sijawahi pata. Unaona plot yangu imejengwa. Sijui mwenye amejenga kama yeye ndio amepewa title deed kama bado title deed ni yangu, niko na original makaratasi.
Running battles, tear gas, rock, missiles and mayhem. This was the situation today as the renewed protest began on a new timetable thrice weekly as the opposition Azimio One Kenya coalition applies pressure on the Kenya Kwanza government to heed their demands. Our reporter Sheila Chelagat with more. Sheila, if you could hear me, I know you have been boots on ground since morning. What is the latest from your end?
Thank you very much, William Moige. We are coming to you live from Kibra, and it is the day one of the Maandamano protests, which have been planned for today, tomorrow, and on Friday as well. And here in Kibra, the battle continues because behind me is the sprawling slums of Kibra, and we can still hear the sounds of tear gas canisters being lobbed at protesters. Behind me as well, we have police who have pitched camp at this point to just ensure that peace continues to prevail in this area. Earlier on, we saw that it had been a cat and mouse game between the police and the protesters, with some of the protesters pelting stones at the police. However, this situation was contained, with the police able to ascertain the peace in the area. There have been arrests that have been made in this area. We saw a couple of youth being rounded up in police cars and taken to police stations in several regions in this area. Further, we have had residents who are still waiting on Azimio Principal Raila Odinga to at least give them a statement on, the way forward for this Maandamano that are expected to still go on tomorrow and on Friday. But that has not yet happened, and some of them have actually displayed they're not happy about it, William. Further, we have seen a press statement by Martha Karua, who is a co-principal in the Azimio coalition, who has called on the government to release some of the people who had been arrested. There have been allegations of the arrest of Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, who is said to be in detainment at this moment. Also, there have been allegations actually of the abduction of the bodyguard to the Premier Raila Odinga. And in her press statement, Martha Karua has called on the government to release them, saying that it is against the Constitution. Earlier on also, we have spoken to a lot of Kenyans who have said that today has been day one and business has been majorly affected. And now that it is expected for it to continue today, tomorrow and on Friday, they're just wondering perhaps what are they going to put on their table? What will they do for their children and for them as well? We have been also at the CBD of Nairobi, where it is a total shutdown. Most businesses have been shut down. It is a total, paralysis of business. And most of these owners are fearing that this is going to negatively affect them, saying that this can cripple them as well. This and more coming to you in our subsequent bulletins. But from me, it is back to you in studio, William.
All right, thank you, Sheila. That is our very own Sheila Chelagat live from Kibra, bringing us the latest from that particular end. Day one of the protest called by Azimio la Umoja, which are set to go on from today, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, let us move on with the relaunch of TV47, the fastest growing station in the media sector. There are new faces that will grace the screens alongside the established presenters and reporters. Daniel Kihoro did a brief interview with an amazing team of new journalists who are making the debut at TV47.
The faces say it all. Smile as they get ready to join their new home, TV47. Their striking outfit and undeniable evidence of happiness is a sign that they are ready to call TV47 home. Fred Indemoli, George Maringa, Victor Muyakane, Grace Kuria, Monaisha Chizuga, Ahmed Baji and Sheila Chelagat are just few of the new faces who are about to grace the screen of TV47.
Sasa niko TV47 na uzoefu huu ambao nimeupata kutoka kwa vituo hivi vingine vyote, sasa niko naye hapa.
I am a business reporter anchor at TV47.
That I envision as a journalist. I am a young journalist, and so I am able to tell untold stories, and I've done that in the past. And so when this new challenge called, I accepted the call and I came here.
Their reasons for joining TV47 are not just for work, but
nilipenda sana kazi ya TV47. Niliona kwamba ni sehemu ambayo kuna kazi nzuri ambayo inaendelea, na nikaona kwamba siku za usoni stesheni itakuwa ni bora zaidi.
So TV47 Story is one beautiful story. It's the fastest growing TV station, and it's a joy to be associated with such a brand.
This being the beginning, what should you expect from them?
Waambie kesho asubuhi saa 12 asubuhi wa switch on TV47 watanipata hapo. Ile kahawa ya asubuhi wataipata.
Well, we tell the untold stories. I think that's it. We have been TV47 has been telling the untold stories. TV47 is the station you should be looking out for. Fastest growing in this nation. We have the best of the best. All our reporters, all our anchors, all our stakeholders are only looking to have the best out there. So why shouldn't you keep it at TV47? We will make sure that we do news that you...
TV47 is a fast-growing station that is set to take over in media industry by the storm. Daniel Kihoro reporting for TV47, Nairobi.
Quite a powerful team, right? Moving on, economic crime is on the rise in the East African region. This is according to PwC Kenya, which recently released the report where highlighting the high level of corruption. In this report, 63% of people in East Africa have experienced fraud within the organization in the last 2 years. Most of these incidents revolve around customer fraud, asset misappropriation, procurement fraud, bribery and corruption, and supply chain fraud.
The Global Economic Crime Survey is a survey that PwC has undertaken for the past 2 decades, and that aims to paint a picture on the fraud and economic crime landscape globally. In the last survey that we conducted in 2022, we did take into account the changing landscapes and considered factors such as COVID-19 and ESG factors. In our report, we highlight the findings from executives in the region where they share their insights in terms of what frauds they can see, what steps they are taking, and what is effective and what is not. In this year, we found that external fraud is on the rise in the Eastern African region, and that is the main theme of our report. And we discussed this in 5 thematic areas around fraud prevention, around corruption in the public sector, ESG fraud, supply chain